Ah yes, Street Fighter 2. The game that put the fighting game genre on the map. Anyway, these two dudes, I always wanted to know who these two were. And I have a couple ideas, but first...
There's more Street Fighter? There's more Street Fighter 1. The guy that punches Mike. There's the guy that punches Mike. In Street Fighter 2 in the intro. Alright, come back to that, come back.
Mike, I think this is Joe and Mike, who are technically the guys at the beginning of Street Fighter 2. It's the Street Fighter 2 fucking big building that you see in the beginning of SF2. And the dudes down here are the two guys that the dude that gets punched at the beginning of SF2. It's these two guys. Right, and they actually have names. They're like Joe and Mike or something like that.
Audia bot and the Street Fighter 2 building. And if you guys check in the middle, we see what's their names? Those guys that were punching each other at the start of Street Fighter 2. What's his name again? One's like Joe or something. Yeah, Joe and Mike. Thanks, guys. Man, you guys really know your lore. You guys are good. Yes, they have names. Jeez, guys. People have been asking for them to like come into the game. Bobos, thank you.
So those two dudes are Mike and Joe from Street Fighter 1? Not really. I thought they were Mike and Joe, just like many other people did. I actually came across some information that tells me that they are not Mike and Joe. So the guy on the right is Scott. To celebrate the 50th character guide, let's introduce everyone to Scott. You're probably wondering who the heck Scott is, and I don't blame you. Not even Shadowloo knows Scott's real identity. But in fact, Scott is a real Street Fighter. Scott is a former boxer who now runs his own bar. He can put the hurt on people with a powerful straight punch, and can evade just about any attack with his super evasive moves. Scott's always in the thick of things with local thugs, but on the weekends he enjoys heading out to the lake for some fishing. Unfortunately, he's not in Street Fighter 5, obviously. And this guy on the left is Max. So you're probably thinking, okay, I know who Scott is now, but who the heck is Max? Even Shadowloo doesn't know who this person is. Max is actually one of the original Street Fighters. Max is a heavyweight boxer with both speed and technique. He's a pretty big player in the mixed martial arts scene, but his behavior gets him into a lot of trouble. He also spends most of his prize money on gambling. Interesting. So they're not Joe and Mike from Street Fighter 1. And like I said before, I thought they were Joe and Mike. This is Joe and Mike's info from the CRI Shadowloo website, which is made by the devs themselves. Also, don't get confused with Mike and Mike Bison. Oh wait, not this Mike Bison. This Mike Bison. Bison, Balrog, and Vega had to be switched around outside of Japan, so Capcom wouldn't get sued by Mike Tyson in the 90s. Some players refer to them as Boxer, Claw, and Dictator to get rid of the confusion internationally. But in the case of the original Mike and Boxer, it doesn't help that Capcom made this alternate Mike costume for Boxer in Street Fighter 5. Oh, and don't forget about Mike Hagar. So there's 3 Mikes. They like naming their characters Mike, eh? Hagar is actually from Final Fight, but Street Fighter and Final Fight are actually in the same universe. Speaking of Final Fight, so you remember this guy, Cody? Yeah, he's from Final Fight as well. Actually the main character from the series. He was introduced to the Street Fighter series with Street Fighter Alpha 03. A lot of people also thought he was Scott in the intro of Street Fighter 2, and I think I know the reason why. You see that broken wall in the background? That was Cody's cell, and Cody broke through that because he was bored. This is Cody in Street Fighter 4, busting through those bricks again. And this is him breaking the brick wall again in Street Fighter 5. Kinda his thing, right? But then you have this from Street Fighter 1. Breaking the Capcom wall. But this isn't Cody. This is Joe. Cody wasn't even thought of yet. You can tell it's Joe from the in-game sprites. But if the Street Fighter 1 intro character is someone different, Capcom, you better let me know. Also, don't get Joe mixed up with the other 2 Joes. We got 3 Mikes and we got 3 Joes. Oh yeah, that's right. Speaking of names that start with J, do you remember Julie and Junie? The dolls from the Alpha series? Yeah? Take a look at this. Julie and Jury. Still don't get it? Don't worry, I got you. So, I think this trips up people who speaks Japanese as their first language. If we spell either one of their names in hiragana or katakana, both their names comes out to Judy. They are both written the same way. In Japanese, there isn't really an L in their alphabet. Their R's take over that role, as they pronounce their R's as a mixture of L and R, making this probably difficult for Japanese speakers. It may be the reason why we haven't seen playable Julie or Junie at all. But moving on, don't forget about G. Oh wait, which G? Of course, I'm only joking. The Joes and Gs aren't all playable. We only have to really worry about the mics, to be honest. But anyway, we got 2 Gs. 3 Gs if you count Q. But let's not do that. Capcom likes to reuse names or change names around, which is fine with me. There are many people in the world who have the same name, that's normal. So as long as they make it clear, I'm cool with it. If they bring Mike from Street Fighter 1 back, give him some really weird boxing moves and give him a last name, and then abbreviate his first name. Like M. Bison, even Hagar could be M. Hagar. But yeah, I just wanted to clear names up and have some fun with it. Just remember, it's Max and Scott. Peace out.